to reply. Could we have an indication as to a time frame for the realization of this project?
I cannot tell you the time frame, but all I can tell you, the technical committee has been established, the senior management of technical officer from my ministry, project coordinator, lead engineer of my ministry, and representative of the traffic management and road safety unit. A number of meetings held so far. On the 4th meetings, 22nd, 7/25, 13, 8/25, 1, 9/25, 10, 9/25.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm checking my standing order. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
One last question. Could the Honourable Minister give an indication to the House as to whether a site has been identified for this project?
Not yet, Honourable Member. When the technical committee will do a feasibility study, then they will tell us exactly where we can have that racing track.
Yes, Dr. Prayag.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Could the Minister even consider to have more than one site available for such a project, because it affects all the youngsters of our country and many of them even lose their lives while doing illegal rallies?
Like I said, the speech was made in the budget by the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, and we are being given 6 million to do that project. I cannot say if we can have 2 or 3 or more than one, but we start by one.
Yes, all right. B172 was withdrawn. So now I go to first member for Port Louis North. She's not here. So I call Dr. Payak, first member for Piton-Rivière-du-Rempart.
B1074.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that under the current system, a medical assessment is carried out by medical practitioners of my ministry to determine the eligibility of applicants to the invalid basic pension or disability allowance and carers allowance. As at date, there are 345 medical practitioners employed on sessional basis serving the medical unit of my ministry. Assessments are carried out either by a medical board, which comprises 2 medical practitioners, or by 1 medical practitioner at the claimant's residence for those whose mobility is limited and who cannot attend the medical board. Madam Speaker, I am informed that prior to COVID-19 pandemic, medical boards were carried out in public hospitals, area health centers, and in social security offices across the island. The last medical board at SSRN Hospital was held on the 9th March 2020 and was subsequently seized due to COVID-19 pandemic. However, for patients who were admitted in the Brunswick Ward Hospital, medical assessment has been continued in the said institution till date. I am further informed that since year 2023, medical assessments are being carried out at the Mocha Eye Hospital and the Suivez Hospital for cases of visual impairments. Thus, at present, medical boards related to disability benefits or pensions are being conducted in 15 social security offices in Mauritius and Mocha Eye Hospital, Suivez Hospital, and Brunswick Hospital. I'm tabling for the attention of members a complete list of the centers. Madam Speaker, I wish to highlight that my ministry is currently in the process of reforming the invalidity pension and disability allowance system. The conduct of medical boards in public hospital has been considered in this context, as it will facilitate access to medical records of applicants. A first round of discussion has already been held with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Once the holistic reform and its new assessment model is ready to be implemented, we will then re-evaluate the necessity of holding medical boards in hospitals or in some of the hospitals. Of course, in this context, necessary clearance will be sought from the Ministry of Health. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Now, the Honourable Third Member for Vieux-Grandport.
Thank you.
Have I missed one? No, it's just, I'm sorry, one moment. Just, I keep getting, you know, little papers about being withdrawn, etc. So sometimes I may lose sight. So the next one is Mr. Ramdas. But if I make a mistake, you just tell me.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's PQ B1075.
Madam Speaker, methadone is presently being dispensed at 23 police station sites, 5 community health centers, 13 area health centers, 5 methadone day care centers, 7 mediclinics, 2 community sites, 8 hospitals, and 5 points in prison setting, catering for around 8,745 beneficiaries daily. The total number of dispensing points of methadone, including police station sites, healthcare settings, community sites, methadone daycare centers, and prison services, is 74. At certain sites, there are 2 dispensing points and different dispensing times: 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. caravan and 9 a.m. to noon in healthcare settings. The relocation of methadone dispensing sites from police stations to healthcare settings is one component of a holistic approach to the management of patients and opioid use disorder. In that context, a national protocol, namely Protocole des prises en charge de l'usage des drogues à Maurice, was elaborated in March 2023 in order to come up with evidence-informed management of people who use drugs at large in a comprehensive manner, and also address the issue of methadone dispensing. However, this protocol is currently being reviewed by a joint technical working group between the National Agency for Drug Control and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Its objective, amongst others, is to come up with sustainable measures and solutions to methadone dispensing issues in all its dimensions. Madam Speaker, it is expected that the new protocol will help to empty our streets and police stations of drug users, considerably reduce drug dealing, increase the safety of all residents, and treat drug users in a humane, ethical, and effective way, enabling most of them to return to a normal life and professional reintegration. Methadone dispensing at the Rosebell Area Health Center has started in September 2023 with 2 patients and is currently catering for 139 patients, both inside Area Healthcare Center and in the yard through the caravan. Madam Speaker, my ministry is well aware that the Rosebell Area Health Center is situated in a residential area, and the risk involved in that there are problems of loitering, littering, and other antisocial behaviors of the patients during and after dispensing time. In this respect, several meetings are being held with the police of the region to enforce security and to discourage loitering and antisocial behavior during and after dispensing hours. Madam Speaker, my ministry will certainly look into the possibility of relocating the dispensing point into another suitable area.
Yes, Mr. Ramdas.
Madam Speaker, of course, obviously, thank you to the Honourable Minister for his reply. Whilst I do understand, Madam Speaker, that no one wants to have this activity carried out within his vicinity, however, carrying out such an activity in a residential area poses risks to the security of the residents. One possible option would be to relocate this activity to GNH Hospital. Would the Honourable Minister be willing to consider that possibility, at least to give some thought, some consideration to that possibility?
Yes, Minister.
Madam Speaker, this matter is being looked into by the joint committee which will be set up with NADEC and my ministry. Okay. But I can tell the honourable member that the question of putting it back to the hospitals, that is not something which is recommended, because we have patients there. We have to look after patients, not after drug addicts only.
Yes, Dr. Prayan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Maybe the minister could consider shifting back, to dispense methadone, given that it has to be done under police supervision, to do it in the police stations of the neighborhoods with the staff of the Ministry of Health.
But even the Commissioner of Police is not of that opinion. Unfortunately, that's why we have got a meeting, a joint meeting within ADEC.
Well, you will find a solution.
We'll try to find a solution.
You must find a solution. Yes, one more, Mr. and then Dr.
Understand that this activity, of course, I stand guided, I stand corrected by the Honourable Minister, but I understand that this activity is already carried out at GNH Hospital. Possibly identifying a specific area within the premises, within the...
Which hospital?
GNH Hospital.
Yes.
So possibly identifying a specific area within the precinct of the hospital could be a possibility that the Honourable Minister could envisage.
Madam, earlier this was being used, hospitals were being used for that purpose, but as I told you, it's being discouraged nowadays because of the number of patients attending hospitals, and even doctors are not agreeable to this. So I have to find out certain suitable places where this can be dispensed.
Aucun problème n'est insurmontable.
Definitely, as I told you, Madam Speaker, I told you we have got a meeting with NADEC and my ministry. They're trying to find out ways and means to solve this problem. It's not only in Rosebel. In each and every area of this country, nobody wants these things to be dispensed in their localities. So we have to find places. It's very difficult.
Bon courage, Monsieur le Ministre. Monsieur Dr. Omia.
Madam Speaker, thank you. May I ask the Minister whether he could liaise with NADEC so that methadone distribution, which has done its days, could be used different methods of substitution therapy, which no longer needs to have these people on the roads on a daily basis. Try to, if you can, use your influence to tell them there are Suboxone and other drugs that can be used on a long-term therapy and lesser people on the roads. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, well, I'm not an expert in that. I'll rely on NADEC for this because they are experts, they know how to deal with the problem.
But we keep hearing this. Thank you, Dr. Omia. Yes, next question. Mr. François.
Yes, thank you. B1076.
I will reply to the question. It's a lengthy reply, and all the information related is in the reply, and it's worth perusing it, you know.
No, can't you table part of it?
I will
Yes?
circulate it.
You will circulate. Thank you very much. Mon billet. Allez, roule. Well, honourable members, I'm sorry. Of course, I keep being contacted by the lower table. So I have to tell you that the table has been advised that the following PQs have been withdrawn. Let me do that and then we will proceed. B1072, 1077, 1079, 1092, 1096, 1100, 1102, 1081, 1086, 1091, and 1104. I will have to check every time. Huh? So 1078 should be all right. Question of Dr. Prague has been withdrawn. So now we have member for Rodrigue, Mr. Edouard.
Madam Speaker, B1078.
Madam Speaker, at the outset, let me point out that the question relates to the Ombudsman, as Section 96 of the Constitution has not yet been amended, and we still refer to Ombudsman as opposed to Ombudsperson, unlike Ombudsperson for children and Ombudsperson for financial services. Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the Office of the Ombudsman that according to its record, no investigation was initiated in relation to the dismissal of 234 general workers from the public service in Rodrigues. However, the matter was the subject of judicial proceedings and a judgment was delivered by the Supreme Court on the 5th of March 2015. I'm informed that following the termination of employment, several former general workers of the Rodrigues Regional Assembly appealed to the Public Bodies Appeal Tribunal, which concluded that the termination was in accordance with law. The aggrieved former general workers then applied to the Supreme Court for a judicial review of the determination of the Public Bodies Appeal Tribunal. The Supreme Court held that the Public Bodies Appeal Tribunal did not have jurisdiction to hear the appeal and declared the tribunal decision to be a nullity. The Ombudsman has also informed that in light of the said judgment, the decision to terminate the employment of the temporary general workers emanated from the Public Service Commission, and in accordance with Section 97, subsection 2G, Roman 3 of the Constitution, the Ombudsman is not empowered to inquire into decision of the Public Service Commission. Madam Speaker, at the level of my ministry, I'm informed that there is no record of any complaint received from the former general workers recruited by the Rodrigues Regional Assembly.
Yes, Mr. Edouard, are you all right? Okay. Let us carry on. So now we've got first member for Port Louis North and Montaillon, Ms. Sabapati. You has been. Yeah, you will have to tell me as we go along, because look at the list. I cannot. It's difficult. So this one has been removed. Okay. Now the honourable second member for Rodrigues, Mr. François.
Me again.
Yours is maintained?
Yes, sure.
Great.
B1080.
Madam Speaker, as the House may be aware, my ministry launched a digital transformation blueprint 2529 earlier this year. And this blueprint serves as a comprehensive roadmap which is built on 4 strategic pillars and 5 enablers. As a government, we see digital access being a fundamental citizen right, and which is deeply embedded within the pillars and the enablers that feature in the blueprint. Universal and reliable digital infrastructure ensures connectivity, while legal protections and cybersecurity measures safeguard personal data and build trust. Meanwhile, the focus on digital literacy equips citizens with the skills that they require. And these pillars, together with a comprehensive ecosystem, where every citizen can fully participate in the digital economy and foster trust and confidence in the system. It's good that I point out here, Madam Speaker, that the previous regime promised a smart Mauritius for a decade, yet they left communities without functioning digital services. Their slogan was smart, their governance was obsolete. Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that an interministerial committee has been established, and my ministry is monitoring and coordinating the implementation of the blueprint. We have also established a dashboard for every minister and the PSSCF for every ministry to be able to monitor implementation of the projects. Furthermore, my ministry is holding consultations with the relevant institutions to identify appropriate reforms and to strengthen citizen digital rights, privacy, and data governance, as it recognizes the necessary legal and regulatory frameworks are vital for guaranteeing digital rights. Half-baked apps, systems that crashed, e-services nobody used. We, on the other hand, are embedding digital access into the governance framework as a right, not as a marketing tool. And Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the Attorney General's Office that amendments will be made to the Constitution of Mauritius to better protect fundamental rights, including new generation rights relating to technology, in line with the government program 2529 and as reflected in the blueprint for ICT. So the Constitutional Review Commission, which shall be set up, shall look into the inclusion of digital rights as a fundamental right under Section 2 of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, the previous administration created a two-speed Mauritius, the connected and the forgotten. We refuse that model. They treated citizens as users. We treat them as right holders. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. You're fantastic. You're very happy. I'm happy when you're happy. Okay, the second member for Grand Bay Poudre d'Or, Mr. Bijan? No? 82 has been withdrawn, perhaps. Anyway, I keep on. 83 has been withdrawn. Fourth member for Port-Louis North. Yes, Mr. Duval?
Yes, B. 1084.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed that there has never been any record on bycatch fish turnover generated from sales. However, I'm informed that the turnover generated for period July 2024 to June 2025 for the removal of 18.15 ton of bycatch fish from licensed foreign tuna longliners amounted to 140,200 rupees in terms of commission for the Agricultural Marketing Board. Madam Speaker, I would like to highlight that prior to the 8th August 2025, non-licensed foreign tuna longliners were not under any obligation to declare or sell the bycatch fish to the AMB. With regard to part B1 of the question, I'm informed by the Agricultural Marketing Board that buying agents are appointed in line with Section 11H of the Mauritius Agricultural Marketing Board Act 1963, and that the conditions and responsibilities associated with the appointment include the obtention of all applicable permits and licenses, having the capacity to bear all operational costs associated with the removal of bycatch fish, purchasing, procuring, selling, or otherwise disposing of bycatch fish on behalf of AMB and operating strictly within the Commission structure approved by AMB. Madam Speaker, with regard to part B2 of the question, I am informed by the Agricultural Marketing Board that the eligibility criteria for an entity to be appointed as buying agent by the AMB are as follows. 1. Holder of a valid food handler certificate. 2. Fishmonger's license. And 3. An import permit for fish and fish products. It is worth noting that prior to finalizing the eligibility criteria, the issue was discussed and approved by Cabinet. Moreover, a buying agent must also be financially sound and should have access to suitable storage facilities in line with Regulation 4.2 of the Mauritius Agricultural Marketing Control Products Regulation 2025 and be fit and proper. With regards to part B3 of the question, I'm informed by the AMB that currently there are 2 buying agents, namely Ecotropic and Aquaris Company Limited. Madam Speaker, the AMB received an application from Ecotropic Company Limited on the 15th May 2025 and from Aquaris Company Limited on the 18th August 2025. The appointment as buying agent was effected on the 9th June 2025 and 3rd September 2025 respectively. The application of the Mauritius Fishermen Cooperative Federation Limited will be entertained favorably once its new executive has been appointed. Madam Speaker, I wish to point out that no tender exercise has ever been carried out for the appointment of any buying agent. However, in a spirit of transparency and accountability and good governance, and contrary to previous practices, this government has now come up with criteria for the appointment of buying agents through the promulgation of Mauritius Agricultural Marketing Control Product Regulation 2025.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I understand that the former authorized agent, the Mauritius Fishermen Cooperative Federation, which has been authorized agent for 20 or 30 years, had in fact in 2022 been part of a discussion at his ministry. He was not yet there. And it was decided then
that it would not be in the interest of the MCFC to remove them as authorized agent, as it would lead to loss of jobs. There are minutes for that, and it would create a financial burden
Every time you're not
on
asking
them.
questions.
Madam Speaker, I have listened the Chief Whip earlier.
I
You said
know,
nothing.
I'm going to tell her as well.
So may I be extended
Okay,
the
but
same
today I'm
leniency?
going to let you.
Thank you.
It's true that the Chief Whip did
Yes.
the same thing. But
The question, therefore, is...
Okay, come with your question.
Yes, the question, therefore, is what financial support, if any, or what arrangements will be made for the MCFC that has now seen itself, after 30 years, deprived of exploitation of bycatch?
In fact, if the honourable member has paid heed to what I've said the application of the Ulster Fishermen Cooperative Federation will be entertained favourably once its new executive has been appointed. And I can tell you, in relation to what we are doing to bring on board the federation, it will serve the interests of the federation and fishmonger cooperative societies, contrary to past practice, when one person had monopoly over the sale of fish.
Question. Figures are available. For 2019, the Federation had registered a turnover of 6.6 million. For 2022, 4.7 million paid to them in commission for the sale. Therefore, there are figures, and it is a lucrative business. Now that this has created a serious impediment to their revenues, which, by the way, is used to redistribute amongst their members. They say 1,000 fishermen benefit from those. What is going to be made? What is going to be made with regards to those fishermen who might now have been left sur le banc de touche?
Madam Speaker, let me impress upon the member that at long last, there is transparency and accountability. And we expect the Federation to be transparent, and it has been given the opportunity to be transparent, and will be taken on board. Contrary to the past practice, when Mr. Sitaram was member of the Agricultural Marketing Board, and Marketing Board was the body issuing the permit, and he was sitting on the board, and he had total control over those who were entitled to have to remove fish from the non-licensing fishing vessel. Today, we are widening the circle and giving opportunity to one and all, because we are bundling non-licensed fishing, those who have the non-licensed fishing vessels and fishing vessels, which means that the quantum will be much bigger, and therefore the share acquired will be to one and all. And we have said priority first to cooperative societies, fishmonger cooperative societies. They all have obligation to serve first and foremost to fishmongers cooperative societies, and we are waiting, and I've said it, once they set up the executive, the Federation will be taken on board, and we are going to entertain the application favorably.
Yes. Question.
Yes. The Minister must be clear. There are now only 2 private companies acting as authorized agents. This is not transparency. Nonetheless, Madam Speaker, let me ask the Minister if he is aware that prices of fish since August, the new framework, has increased substantially because of increased commission and commissioning being made now by those 2 authorized agents. And can he confirm whether the commission that is supposed to be set up at the level of the AMB for deciding on the prices of fish has been set up, and who sits on it?
The information being relayed by our friend is wrong, and he has been fed with the wrong information.
Okay.
Let me impress upon him that the committee is doing its work in all transparency, and there is no reason to spread or to fuel rumors, contrary to past practices when there was opacity in relation to activities being carried out by Mr. Sitaram and his acolytes.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Babaji.
Yes, Madam Speaker. May I ask the Minister, as he just said, in regards to Mr. Sitaram, where everyone was saying Mr. Poisson of the MSM regime, will he start an inquiry on the same person and whether there were conflict of interest between the AMB and those bycatch, and if there were irregularities, actions will be taken?
I thank the honourable member. There was blatant conflict of interest and an inquiry will be conducted.
So the question was, can you start an investigation? Yes. It's a new question. Yes. Members of the Commission, he asked for members of the Commission.
Information will be circulated.
Yes, exactly. Easy, easy. So now, I've finished with you, Mr. Duval, Mr. Babulal. Yes, first member for more time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. B1085.
Madam Speaker, the construction of multipurpose complex at Medellin Kandiamask was approved in financial year 23-24 as a design and build project at an estimated cost of 62 million and 25 million has been earmarked in the current financial year. The building will be located on the land of an extent of 11,240 square meters owned by the District Council of Flag. In the meantime, the Council is undertaking the construction of the block wall by its in-house labor. As at date, up to 60% of the wall has been completed. In August 2024, the District Council of Flag has invited requests for proposals for the selection of consultants for design of a multi-purpose complex at Medellin. Was launched with closing date 2nd September 2024. 2 bids were received. However, after evaluation of the proposals, none of them were found to be responsive. Given that the multi-purpose complex will house different government entities, the District Council of Flag intends to consult the relevant stakeholders before proceeding to the relaunching of the tender for a consultant for the design of the multi-purpose complex by the end of January 2026. The works on the site are expected to start in August 9, 2026 and completed by September 2027.
Thank you. Yes, Chief Whip, yes.
Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente. 1088.
Yes, 88. It's yours. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am informed by the Ministry of Local Government that the Ministry of Local Government had on the 3rd of October 2024 submitted a request to my ministry for the creation of a new access road from Palma SSS running along state land up to St. Marie College with a view to easing traffic congestion along La Seringue Avenue during school days. Consequently, a joint site visit was carried out with the relevant stakeholders, including the Traffic Management and Road Safety Unit, to address issues pertaining to creation of the said access through state land. The TRMSU has made its recommendations in the matter, proposing that consideration be given to utilizing the existing road network of Palma via Montselmont as an alternative access to service St. Marie College. However, I am further informed that the Municipal Council of Quatre-Bornes has initiated fresh consultations with TRMSU to determine the most appropriate course of action in this regard. Accordingly, Madam Speaker, upon a decision being reached among the relevant stakeholders and duly communicated to my ministry, needful shall be done for the release or reallocation of the required plot of state land to facilitate the implementation of the project through state land. I hope this is something which has been pending for a long time, and through the intervention of the honourable members of this constituency, this is being favourably considered. Thank you.
Yes, question, not statement, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente. Je remercie aussi le ministre pour sa réponse sincère. C'est une décision qui aurait dû être prise depuis longtemps. Le ministre peut-il indiquer à la Chambre si son ministère envisage d'effectuer un site visit des lieux afin de déclencher les démarches nécessaires? Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Madam Speaker, as I've said in my reply, the issue now is since the TIMSU has already made recommendations with regards to the existing road network, and then the Municipal Council of Catriborn has initiated fresh consultations with the TMRSU. It will be for those institutions to communicate to my ministry. Now, if there is the need for a site visit in order to decide on the appropriate portion of state land that needs to be used for that very important project, of course, we'll do the needful, and I'll let the members of that constituency be made aware of, for us to be able to be present there.
Yes, last question, Mr. Bijan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. B1089.
That no major renovation of the sports facilities at the Goodlands Social Welfare Centre is envisaged at this stage. The Social Welfare Centre has two sports facilities, namely the Boulodrome, which is in good condition, and the volleyball pitch. The poles and lighting of the volleyball pitch were removed in 2017 for upgrading works that did not materialize due to the withdrawal of sponsors and insufficient funds. The perimeter fencing has also deteriorated over time. Due to financial constraints, my ministry has prioritized urgent works across social welfare centers island-wide, such as electrical rewiring, waterproofing, and slab replacement, as well as expenses linked to evacuee centers. Consequently, no dedicated provision has been made for upgrading the sports facilities at Goodlands, although minor maintenance works are undertaken and social welfare committees seek support from district councils and other partners for such projects. Madam Speaker, I'm moreover informed that the newly appointed Social Welfare Committee has initiated small-scale upgrading of the volleyball pitch, including fixing the posts and net by end of November 2025, marking the pitch in early December, and resuming daytime practice by mid-December. As for a more substantial upgrading, such as installing a new lighting system or converting the pitch into a mini soccer ground, I wish to inform the House that the matter may be considered when the budget proposals of my ministry will be submitted for the next financial year.
Thank you, Minister. Yes, Mr. Bijan, I think we will stop here. I have, unfortunately, to tell you again a list. It's becoming very complex. Since the beginning, I've got so many questions that have been withdrawn. Maybe we should think about doing it in a better way. Anyway, I have to tell you for today, the following PQs have been withdrawn: B1103, 1093, 1099, 1094, 1090, and 1040. I'm sure we can do better with time. Thank you very much.
Motion.
Yes, Honourable Prime Minister.
I'd like to move that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10.
Yes, look, it is seconded. Thank you. The question is that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Statements by ministers.
Yes, Honourable Minister, yes.
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I wish to make a statement in connection with the withhold release order against Fireman Group Limited issued by the United States Customs and Border Protection on 11th November 2025. As per the withhold release order, the U.S. Customs will immediately detain garments, apparel, and textile manufactured by Fireman Group Limited based on information that reasonably indicates forced labor use. The release order defines forced labor as all work or service which is extracted from any person under the menace of any penalty for its non-performance and for which the worker does not offer himself voluntarily. Madam Speaker, in its 23rd annual report entitled Findings on the Worst Forms of Child Labor, published in 2024, the U.S. Department of Labor added Mauritius in the list of countries where goods are produced by child labor or forced labor. Mauritius was added in the list in respect to garments produced by forced labor. This action followed negative reports published in 2023 and 2024 from Transparentum, a non-profit organization which investigated into labor abuses in Mauritius apparel manufacturing industry, which covered factories operated by Firemount Textile Limited. The report highlighted labor rights abuses faced by workers in terms of recruitment fees, deception, abusive working and or living conditions, intimidation and threats, abuse of vulnerability, audit deception, and deficiencies, and inadequate response to grievances. Madam Speaker, when I took office, I had a meeting with His Excellency, the US Ambassador, to discuss how Mauritius can be removed from this blacklist. Consequently, with the help of the International Migrant Office, my ministry came up with new regulation under the Private Recruitment Agencies Act to ensure the ethical recruitment of foreign workers. The Special Migrant Unit of my ministry is dedicated to address all issues pertaining to migrant workers and to investigate all reported cases of abuse. We have also taken a policy decision to ensure that no enterprise which is the subject of complaints for serious offences against migrant workers is allowed to recruit new migrant workers. Madam Speaker, the report of the US Customs and Border Protection against Fireman Group is according to the communiqué issued on 18th November, based on information which reasonably indicate forced labor. Taken together, the evidence, according to that communiqué, demonstrated that workers at Firemount Group Limited were subjected to 4 international labor organization indicators, namely abuse of vulnerability, debt bondage, deception, and intimidation and threats. Madam Speaker, I'm informed by my ministry that there has not been any cases of forced labor against Firemount Textile reported to our ministry in 2025. On 19th and 20th of November last week, officers from my ministry carried out inspection visit to the 2 factories of Firemount Textile at Latour-Kénic and Saint-Félix and interviewed migrant workers and members of Workers' Council. They found no evidence of forced labor. I also chaired a meeting yesterday with the management of Firemount Textile in the presence of officers from my ministry, where the representative denied all allegations leveled against them. Madam Speaker, the report of CPB was based on inquiries carried out before I assumed office. I'm aware that in the past, employers used to repatriate foreign workers before the latter could testify against them. The law now requires my ministry to be informed before an enterprise can repatriate any worker. My ministry is working closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, and the Mauritius Export Association, MIGZA, to ensure that Mauritius is removed from the blacklist of the US Department of Labor at the earliest. My ministry will not tolerate any enterprise that abuses migrant workers and tarnishes the reputation of Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Madam Nava, yes.
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I wish to make a statement in connection with the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, which is being commemorated today. Gender-based violence, Madam Speaker, is fundamentally an expression of domination and constitutes a serious violation of human rights. It prevents individuals from developing their full potential, contributing to society, and living with dignity. For too long, this despicable crime was carefully hidden by society, concealed behind closed doors, and dismissed as private matters. This issue has been brought to the surface thanks to NGOs and brave individuals. For years, discussions, demonstrations, and conferences have been organized, studies commissioned, and programs implemented. There have been achievements, meaningful progress that we must acknowledge. Yet, more remains to be done. While much can be achieved in isolation, much more can be achieved through collaboration. As Minister, I strongly believe in networking, in the power of coordinated, multi-sectoral action where government, civil society, communities, and individuals work together towards our shared goal. The theme of our national campaign, which runs from 24th November to 10th December this year, is Femmes, Topasis and Victimes to un changement. Women, you are not only a victim, you are the change. It carries both a pledge and a challenge. It recognizes women's inherent resilience and leadership and calls upon our institutions, our communities, and every citizen to stand united against this scourge. Madam Speaker, almost every day, my ministry is confronted with victims of violence and their painful experiences, the everyday horrors which they face. Data compels us to act with urgency. According to Statistics Mauritius, a gender approach 2023, 7,177 domestic violence cases were reported in 2023, out of which 5,729 were targeted against women, thus representing 80% of all cases. From January to June 2025 alone, 3,768 cases were reported, with 3,200 involving women victims. These figures are disturbing. According to UN Women and WHO research, globally, 1 out of 3 women has ever experienced physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner at least once in her lifetime. Behind every statistic lies a human story. Madam Speaker, misunderstood parental models, tragic personal experiences, coupled with the challenges and pressures that exist in our changing and complicated society, constitute grounds for manifestations of violence. However, I wish to reiterate the following. This government has the necessary will to put an end to this heinous social scourge, and it is high time to tackle this issue in a more organized, coordinated, and comprehensive way. Madam Speaker, while our current legislation does not classify feminicide as a distinct offense, we recognize it as an urgent national concern, requiring targeted preventive strategies. In that context, the Protection from Domestic Violence Act will be replaced by a comprehensive domestic abuse legislation. This new legislation will reflect government's unwavering determination to fight against gender-based violence. La loi doit être va être appliquée dans toute sa rigueur. This new legislative framework will align Mauritius with international best practices. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that since August this year, my ministry has established 12 family support services centers. operating as integrated guichet unique, one-stop shop facilities under one roof, bringing support for children, women and families, including psychosocial assistance, legal guidance, referral pathways, and rapid intervention for victims of all forms of violence, including online harassment. Our 24/7 hotline, 139, provides immediate crisis intervention, safety planning, and connection to emergency shelter where necessary. Madam Speaker, while we must respond to violence with urgency and effectiveness, our ultimate goal must be prevention. Amongst other measures which my ministry has taken is to enlist the contribution of men, young men, as allies against this scourge. Our positive masculinity program has enrolled, as at now, 25 young men who believe that men is not the problem only, but part of the solution. Madam Speaker, eliminating GBV stands high on the agenda of this government. Through networking between government, NGOs, civil society and individuals, we can achieve our goal, that is creating a nation where every woman and girl lives free from fear and violence. During these 16 days of activism and beyond, let us all pledge not only to prevent gender-based violence, but ultimately to wipe it out and eradicate it. On a personal note, Madam Speaker, I will continue my task with compassion, justice, and the vision of a safer Mauritius against all odds. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Public bills, first reading.
Madam Speaker, I move that the Law Practitioners Disciplinary Proceedings Bill number 29 of 2025 be read a first time.
Yes, who's seconding? Thank you. Perhaps now we can break for tea. Thank you. We go in peace.